open up the month of February here in DeKalb. We've got a couple of top teams in the Mid-American Conference for some gymnastics on this Sunday afternoon. It's the Central Michigan Chippewas and the Northern Illinois Huskies inside the Convocation Center on the campus of Northern Illinois. Alongside former NIU gymnast Emily Graham, I'm Adam Jackson. You were a captain on last year's squad that won the MAC championship for the first time in program history. What a special moment that was.
It was really incredible. My heart is pounding being back in this environment. It is so exciting to be here with these two great teams for the day.
Yeah, Central Michigan won the regular season. NIU, of course, won the MAC championships right here in DeKalb. Let's start with the Huskies, a sophomore, Tara Kaufmel. She's going to be competing in the all-around for the second time in her career today.
She is. Like you said, she had a great meet last weekend. She scored a 38.55 in the all-around in just her second time out there as an all-arounder. She's really stepped it up in her role this season for the Huskies and proving herself as a sophomore. You see her there on the floor. She's such a shine out there. She looks awesome. And here she's great on vault as well, scoring a 9.825 at last meet.
She's been really impressive for Central Michigan. They've had a four-year stud in Danielle Pedrick. She's done everything for the Chippewas, the reigning MAC Gymnast of the Year.
She is, and she's the only two-time NCAA regional qualifier for the CMU Chippewas. She's a powerhouse competitor for CMU. She's a senior out of Canada, and she just continues to make a splash in every single meet in the all-around. Her season high score this year is a 39.4, which is just amazing if you think about a perfect 40. For her to be so close is just absolutely incredible.
One of the captains for the Chippewas, Danielle Pedrick, getting ready to roll here for Central Michigan.
Well, here at MAC's last year, it was an incredible environment. You look at all the stands, every single seat was filled. The roaring teams, they were cheering so loud, it was deafening in here. And we ended on beam, which is a really hard event to end on. And Mia Lord, who's a junior this year, she was last up on the beam. She nailed her routine and clinched the title for us. It was just quite an experience.
I mean, Emily, two things. One, to be at home, and two, to win the first ever at NIU. What a moment that must have been for you and the team to finally break through and finish the job.
It was. We had been so close every single year that I had been here. When I was a junior, we were second, like you said, and so to actually win it last year as a senior and to go out on such a high note was absolutely, it was a unforgettable experience.
And again, it's been NIU and Central Michigan that have sort of been linked together here the last couple of years. Of course, the Chippewas won the MAC championships 2 years ago. Last year, they were the regular season champs, clinching that against NIU in the last meet of the year. Then it was Northern Illinois taking down Central Michigan at the end in those championships. So these two teams, these two programs really have been successful the last couple of seasons for that.
Yes, they really have. And Central Michigan is such a powerhouse team. It seems like every year they come in really strong, really hot. And same with NIU. Every single year they seem to build on their lineups and build in their depth. So it should be quite the matchup today.
And there's your former head coach, and in his 9th season with Northern Illinois, Sam Morielli, the reigning MAC Coach of the Year. He's won it twice. What a job he has done with this program to elevate them to their success.
Yes, absolutely. He is quite the coach. He's really incredible to be under as a gymnast, and he really just works hard day in and day out to make great decisions for the team, and he really does deserve that MAC Coach of the Year.
Won it in 2017 as well, as the Huskies get warmed up, ready to go. First couple of gymnasts getting ready to go here. Central Michigan will start on the bars. Northern Illinois will have the Olympic style here at home. They will start on the vaults. And again, this is an early meet. I know we're getting closer and closer to March, but still early on where teams are trying to figure out what rotations they're going to have towards the end of the year. You've got about a month to a month and a half to get things right and to compete at that highest level.
Exactly, and it's really important as we're getting into the thick of season here in the middle for teams to really be focusing on all the details. Every pointed toe counts, every straight leg counts, every stuck landing matters. So it's going to be really important for these teams today to really go out there and nail it and start putting together their full lineups for the end of the season.
And we talked about it. These two teams been linked together, also linked in the conference predictions as well. Central Michigan predicted to win the MAC. Huskies right behind them in second. So again, this meet today, even though it's still early in the regular season, it's really important.
It is, exactly. And to start on vault is also, it's such a great way to start off a meet going, you know, you can get your powerhouse girls out there starting off the team strong. So any way you look at it, both of these teams have quite an even match.
Yeah, well, I think you mentioned it, why it was so impressive, not only winning the MAC championships, but the different route and routines you did. Normally you get that Olympic style where it's vault, bars, and then beam and floor. It was completely opposite of that, where some of the tougher stuff came at the end of the meet in crunch time.
Exactly. Yeah, ending on beam's quite nerve-wracking in a big setting like that.
There's Christine McDonald, the first-year head coach for Central Michigan, as we are underway here with the Huskies getting going on the vault.
That was Mia Lord there with a very impressive Yurchenko full. Stood it straight up. Great start there for the Huskies.
Junior out of Fishers, Indiana. Here it is one more time, Emily.
She has a lot of power, straight up, a little bent knees, a little pike down on the landing, but overall a great start for NIU.
This is Savannah Cotis, one of the freshmen, a younger Central Michigan team with how much success they had last year. A lot of new pieces in important places. And we start right here on the uneven bars.
Beautiful blind full there with a double back. A little step on the landing, but she really did nail that blind full. You really want to end those in handstands and to get your full points.
Cotis, bars and beam specialist for Christine McDonald. We'll go back to the vault. This is Zoe Schroeder. Schroeder getting ready to go here, the junior out of Minnesota. Expect her to see her both on vault and beam this afternoon for ninth-year head coach Sam Morielli.
Here she goes. We're looking for great height off the table on this. A little low on the landing, but overall a great vault. Little bent knees. The judges might take a couple tenths there. There it is again. She saved that landing. A little bit of chest down, but overall another great vault for the Huskies.
Amazing just to stay up and land that, because you could tell most of her momentum was still carrying forward.
Yeah.
Back to the uneven bars. Another freshman for Christine McDonald. This is Brenna Hauser. So a couple important spots here to open the meet with true freshmen.
That is very impressive to be a freshman and starting out right away on the bars.
Hauser out of Westfield, Indiana.
Great handstand. Big release move. That is called a Jaeger. Another beautiful handstands. Bars is all about handstands. She also hit that last one here right before her dismount. Awesome routine. That had to feel really good.
A freshman doing a nice job early on. She's gotten high praise from Christine McDonald, one of the hardest workers and best athletes in the gym, according to Coach McDonald.
Here it is again. Watch this dismount. Nice height, and her chest was all the way up on the landing. That's what you want to see. Of course, didn't get the full stick, but even a little hop is a great, great finish. Next up here on the vault, we have senior and captain Amanda Bartimeo. She goes for a Yurchenko half. Great vault. It was such an impressive landing, taking a small hop there. That was a great third vault for the Huskies. Here's a replay. Really nice height, really beautiful body position, and the great finish there.
You can always count on the senior. She was the co-MAC champ on vault a couple of years ago for the Huskies. Also was a part of that all-MAC championship team. So, as you mentioned, a captain, someone that's reliable in the middle of that lineup for Coach Morielli.
Exactly.
This is Kennedy Ray Johnson. She's next up for Central Michigan, a junior out of Cordova, Tennessee. She's expected to go on vault, bars, and floor this afternoon. Central Michigan coming in 3-2 and 1-0 in the MAC. trying to stay perfect while the Huskies are looking to pick up their second conference win.
A very impressive Tkachev. Great handstands once again. What's really going to be the key for these two teams is their stuck landings on every event. Like I said at the start here, oh, that was a close stick. Like I said at the start here, every single tenth is really going to count. Every single stick is really going to make a difference in how these teams match up and how these teams score in the end.
Well, and you just think about how close the MAC championships came down to last year as we take another look at this replay.
Exactly. Beautiful height. That is a full-in dismount. Great finish for Kennedy Johnson. That was Tara Kaufmal, sophomore out of Arizona, on the vault. She does a Yurchenko half. Here's a replay for you. Beautiful once again, and Tara actually took first place last weekend at Illinois State on this vault. She got a 9.825. She is a vault powerhouse. She's awesome.
Yeah, she had a really good meet at Illinois State, 9.75, and also on beam, and a 9.9 on floor against the Redbirds as well. Again, we talked about her in the open. We'll see her on all 4 events this afternoon.
Yeah, she'll be competing all around for the second time.
Another freshman for Central Michigan, their third in this opening rotation. This is Hannah Demers out of Canton, Michigan.
This is a great routine so far. She's nailing all of her handstands. Big dismount here. And a stick. That is awesome. Let's take another look. Great dismount. Chest is up on the landing. Beautiful finish for that routine.
You said it's going to come down to dismounts today, and a freshman coming through in a big way. Back to the vault.
Gabby Welch with a Yurchenko full and a beautiful landing. Her chest was up. Didn't quite stick it there, but definitely had a great landing.
Coach Morelli says she is one of the most confident gymnasts that he has.
She really is very impressive. She trains all 4 events as well, and she is an incredibly hard worker and really fights her way into each and every lineup that she can.
You can see the fist pump there from 9th year head coach Sam Morielli, and our other spotlighted student athlete in the open. This is Danelle Pedrick, the reigning MAC Gymnast of the Year. Just a bunch of consistency when you're talking about Pedrick, Emily. She goes out there and seems like she does her job every single meet and every single routine.
Every single meet. She is so consistent and so great on every event. It's really incredible to watch her grow and to watch her just be consistent, really.
And she won the vault championships at the Max last year right here in DeKalb. She takes the bars right now.
Huge Tkachev, so much height over top of that bar. Beautiful handstand. Another release move, pack salto in between the bars. And here we go, getting ready for the dismount. Amazing blind full. Great routine. That is actually a pretty rare dismount. You don't see a lot of gymnasts who go forward over the bar. They actually usually go backwards into a double back or a full in. So it is an impressive routine. It's a different routine. And as you can see, she seems to nail it every time.
Yeah, and adds that difficulty, which helps certainly in your scoring as well. And now Pedrick coming through, getting the hug there from Christine McDonald. Back to the vault with the Huskies.
This is Cindy Lamberti out of Grayslake, Illinois. She is also a senior this year. Had a great 4 years here at NIU. She's been a vault and beam specialist, and she has the most height off this vault table. You'll watch here in a second.
4-year starter in the lineup for vault for Coach Morielli. Again, very consistent when you're talking about Cindy Lamberti.
just awesome. That height off the table is something that a lot of gymnasts actually struggle with, which is why you see some of the lower landings. But she was right up on top of herself and really tried to stick the landing.
What's the key to getting that great height that she's able to get?
So it's all about the block off the table. You really want to come into the table on an angle, so when your shoulders block off the table, you have all that power out of your arms going straight up into the air.
Sierra DeMarinis now, the sophomore out of Massachusetts.
Missed her Jaeger there. Now that will be a 5/10 deduction, but that means she can still finish up this routine on a great note.
And of course, they count 5 of the 6 scores in terms of routines. The first real mistake we've seen in this meet from either side.
Yeah. Here she goes, finishing up her routine. Another very unique forward-facing dismount. So that was a great finish for her. I know it's probably not the routine she wanted, but she had a great finish for the Central Michigan Chippewas. Here it is again. You'll see she flips forwards off of the bar, which is really quite impressive, and it's quite difficult to do.
So there's the sophomore Sierra DeMarinis. Again, not exactly what she was hoping for, but you competed in bars, you know how tough it is. If you have a slip up like that, you still got to go up there, finish, and get through your routine and act like nothing has happened.
Exactly. Really easy to do. But it is really awesome to have those teammates around you to rally, pick you up after you've fallen down.
All right, now a couple of exhibitions. At least we'll have one for Central Michigan. This is Sydney Williams. This is important too, Emily. This is an opportunity, even though you're not getting scored here, but a chance to showcase to your coaches, to your teammates, what you can do in this pressure situation in front of these fans.
Exactly. It really is. The exhibition spot is really a great way for you to get used to the pressure, get your nerves under control, and almost prove yourself to your coach that you want to be in lineup, you're pushing the team forward, and the exhibition spot is really important for the depth of the actual lineup. Everybody's pushing everyone forward, making sure everyone gets better each meet.
Yeah, these are the competitors that are right on the cusp of breaking into that lineup. It's so competitive to be one of those first 6, but again, this is an opportunity to try and get into the lineup maybe in the next meet or the coming weeks to prove yourself for the team.
Exactly. And as much as we don't want to talk about it, gymnastics is a sport full of injuries, and so the exhibition spot is also a great way to make sure that if anybody gets injured, you have a replacement ready to go.
Sydney Williams, one of the captains on this Central Michigan team, a great vaulter, tries out here on the bars.
Huge Tkachev. Did you see how much height she got off that bar? Here she goes for the second half. And a great finish for her. I'm sure that felt great being in an exhibition spot to really hit and prove that you can nail a routine.
All right, well, great stuff from Sydney Williams. That should conclude our first rotation here in DeKalb between the Huskies and the Chippewas. Scores coming here as we come back from the break. We'll have those updated scores individually and for the teams through that first rotation between Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. But overall, really nice job by both teams to get it started.
It was a great first rotation.
Here's the scores from that first rotation. This is Kennedy Ray Johnson, the leading scorer for Central Michigan, up on the bars.
She got a 9.8. It was a beautiful routine with a great dismount.
9.8 for Danelle Pedrick as well for Central Michigan. On the other side for the Huskies, they finished with a 48.9. Just a touch in front of Central Michigan. Lamberti had a great routine.
This was a great vault, great height. She had a high of a 9.825. Also, Gabby Welch with a 9.825. Great vault rotation for the Huskies.
So after one rotation between Central Michigan, the defending regular season champs, and NIU, the defending MAC champs, It's 48.8 for the Chippewas and a 48.9 for the Huskies. So, again, this meet will continue to monitor those scores as we go along. But nice start for the home squad, NIU, after that first rotation.
Exactly. And like we said and talked about before, these two teams are very evenly matched, as you can see even from the first rotation. We're going to be 10th by 10th here.
Touch warm-ups going on for the second rotation. And Central Michigan getting ready on the vault, and NIU back on the bars. Emily, when you go through that first rotation and you kind of get the nerves out of your system, how do you get ready to go into that next routine and keep things going along?
Right. It's really about taking one event at a time. When you're competing, you look at that event, you compete that event, and then you move on no matter how it happened. And so your mindset really has to be focused on one event at a time, making sure you're visualizing what you want to do on each event, and really just you have to move fast, so your brain has to follow.
One rotation in, how does it feel to be over here? You've been out there the last 4 years, and now here you are watching your teammates go through these routines. You doing okay?
I'm doing all right. I miss it quite a lot, but it is really great to be on the other side of it for once and just be able to be a cheerleader. And I think it's really important that we continue to just support each other, whether we're alumni or whether we're incoming freshmen. It's really just a great environment. It's a great family. And so it's hard to not be a part of it anymore, but I'm still, in a way, here and supporting them, so it's great.
Absolutely. Christine McDonald, there she is, the head coach for Central Michigan. Her first year as the head coach. She spent 25 years as an assistant. We've talked about it. Central Michigan, in her time as an assistant, they've been great over the last 25 years. 16 MAC titles, 9 MAC regular season titles. She also competed for the Chippewas back in the late 80s, early 90s. So if there's anyone that knows about the tradition and success of this program, it's Christine McDonald.
Yep, absolutely. You're very right. She's been with this team for so long, it almost runs in her blood.
Just about a minute left to go until we start this second rotation. Emily, what stuck out to you from both sides in that first routines up with the vault and the uneven bars?
Absolutely. I think NIU had a great start on vault. They had a couple low landings, which is not something you typically want, but they had no falls, and everybody stuck their vaults. So that is a great start for them there. And then on the other side on bars, to have really 3 scores in the 9-8s is really awesome. I know they had that one fall, but they could actually drop that score to count the top 5. So, like I said before, they're very evenly matched. Both events have started off really strong, and I'm looking forward to see how this second rotation turns out.
Certainly are. The Chippewas and the Huskies early on here. 1 win for Central Michigan in the MAC, and for NIU, they're looking for their second. Very early on here in February, but this one will matter here towards the end of the year. Kennedy Ray Johnson is getting ready to lead things off for CMU on the vault. Again, she just had one of the top scores over on the uneven bars.
That was the buzzer, so we should be getting started right about now.
This is where the nerves start to kick in, right? You remember that feeling of, okay,
yeah.
it's go
I'm
time.
Sweating thinking about it. It's that moment right before you salute to the judge is really undescribable to anyone who's not a gymnast.
Kennedy Ray Johnson, a regular in the lineup. She competed in all 13 meets a season ago, both on vault and bars. Here she goes.
Oh, what a beautiful Yurchenko full. She almost stuck it. I saw a little hop, but the judges may give it to her. That was beautiful height, beautiful body position. Here it is again. What a powerhouse. So much height, a great landing. That was a great vault for Kennedy Ray Johnson.
You can see how quick she's running down the runway there. That's really important to the way you finish up on the vault.
Up now we have Brooklyn Sears on the bars. She's a freshman. Great Jaeger. It's a little more rare to see it in that pike position, but it was beautiful. Here she goes, getting ready for the dismount. Great handstand. What a great routine. That was a great dismount. Had a little step on the landing, but overall very clean. That's what you want for your leadoff spot on a bar routine. That was great. Here's another dismount. Chest was up. You can see Sam there, really excited about that routine. That was awesome.
And we weren't sure we were going to see her on bars because she just jammed her fingers.
Yeah.
So able to get going for Central Michigan. That's more
wow.
than tall.
That was an amazing vault. Did you see that stuck landing there? Vault is so hard because you have so much power and momentum moving forward. Here you can see it. She completely lays out her body position and just holds that stick and really relishes in it, and that is really what you want for every vaulter.
Morgan Tong, a sophomore out of Ontario. She was the MAC Specialist of the Week just a couple of weeks ago. Had a career-high 9.9 at Eastern Michigan. Looks like another good score coming for her here in DeKalb.
Yeah, that was amazing. Up next here on bars is Gabby Welch out of Greenbrier, Tennessee. Gabby is a junior this year.
Next on bars for the Huskies, Gabby.
And here she goes, getting ready.
And she just had one of the better scores up there on the vault for the Huskies, had a 9.825. That's got to give you a lot of confidence, too, if you can start off the meet.
Absolutely. Great start handstand. Great Ginger. Here she goes, transition to the low bar. Legs came a little bit apart on that. Gearing up for the dismount here. She does a double layout. Very nice. Took a little bit of a step there, a little bit of open knees, but overall another great routine and another stick, which is what you want. You want to make your routines, keep the ball rolling, keep the positive energy throughout the whole entire lineup.
And really the Huskies, they've stuck all of their routines so far going back to the vault.
Yeah. Wow, another great vault for the Chippewas. You're about to see it now. This is Sierra DeMarnis, and she did a beautiful Yurchenko full.
Remember, she was the one that fell on bars, so this has got to feel really
so
good to come out.
So this definitely does feel better. That was beautiful. A little hop on the landing, a little bit of leg separation, but overall, you really want that chest up, and you really want to nail it, so she did great.
Expecting DeMarinis to go in the all-around today for Christine McDonald. On the other side, Lauren Gomes. You can see she's pretty worried about her upcoming routine. She's having some fun.
And this is actually Lauren Gomes' first time in a bar lineup in her college career. So I'm sure she's probably feeling the nerves, but she also just looks so excited and so ready and very confident. So I'm excited to see how this routine goes for her.
We asked Coach Morielli about her and said, where's she come from? And he's like, she's just faced so much adversity, injuries, finally has a chance to showcase what she can do in lineup.
Exactly. Here she goes for her release move. Beautiful, great height, another piked Jaeger. Here's her transition. A little bit of leg separation, but overall, this is a great routine so far. Here comes the dismount. She also has a double layout. What an amazing routine. You can see that emotion in her face as she lands. This was a moment she's been waiting for a really long time. That was an awesome routine to start out her college career.
A senior that has fought through so much to get that opportunity, and she nails her first chance. And you can see the excitement her teammates had for her. This is Sydney Williams now for Central Michigan on the vault.
Another Yurchenko full. She had amazing height on that vault, and that's maybe why she over-rotated a little bit of a bounce backwards, but overall great power, great height, and a beautiful straight body position, which is what you want. Sometimes Yurchenko fulls can get a bit, their body positions can get a bit piked or a bit hollowed, and judges will really take deductions on that. So if you can show a nice laid out body position, that's gonna look real great for the judges' eyes.
That was Lauren Gomes, who just went the senior, and you can see, as Emily just pointed out, the emotion from not only her, but the teammates as well, surrounding her, knowing what that moment means to her, and she stepped up in a big way.
Yeah, I'm incredibly happy for her. I know that's a moment she's really been working super hard for. Like you said earlier, she's battled a lot of injuries, and so this was just probably the cherry on top of her senior season.
Here's a mainstay in the lineup, Allison Richardson, one of the captains. Emily, she has been outstanding in her Husky career.
She has been absolutely amazing. Her bars are, she has beautiful lines. She looks amazing. So let's see how this routine goes. Comes her Jaeger. Great Jaeger with great height. Beautiful handstand. There's another release move, a packed salto in between the bars. This is going to be a great routine for Richie. What an awesome routine. I'm not sure if she sucked that, but it looked like she had her chest up, and it looked just great. Here's that dismount again. Double back. A slight hop, but really quite an impressive finish. Great clean routine.
Back to the vault with CMU.
Wow, a stick. That was Hannah Demirs. She also did a Yurchenko full, and you see with the stuck landing, like I said, it's all about the sticks here, and that really contributes to how great and powerful her vault is.
Again, a young lineup for Christy McDonald, and that's a freshman stepping up. Once again, Hannah Demirs with the vaults.
These feet do not move. They are stuck there on that mat. Absolutely great.
Great finish there for the Chippewas, and now back to the uneven bars with Northern Illinois.
This is freshman Natalie Ham. She has made a splash in the bars lineup this year. She has great lines. She is out of Michigan.
Next up, bars for
Comes
the
from
Huskies,
Ionia,
Natalie
a freshman that, again, Coach Morelli says she could be one of their best bars specialists by the time she's all done here at Northern Illinois.
It's a great compliment from Sam. Huge height from that Tkachev. She's got a really tight body. She really has great lines. Comes the dismount. Another great routine, and she actually does a blindfold into a double layout, which is really quite hard. A blindfold kind of slows down your momentum a little bit on top of the bar as you're turning, and to do an impressive dismount like a double layout is a really great finish to a routine.
I'll tell you what, we're getting spoiled with some of the true freshmen that are stepping up for both CMU and for Northern Illinois.
That was Danelle Petrick on the vault. She does one of the most impressive vaults. That is a Yurchenko double full, which is almost unheard of here in the MAC conference, and it was beautiful. You'll see this, she does an extra full rotation in the air. Great finish. You can see her excitement there too. She knows she nailed that.
And that routine won her the MAC championship at the vaults right here in DeKalb last year. She's had a couple of really good routines over on the bars and the vaults. And that should get us through this second rotation. We've got some exhibitions.
Morgan Hooper is the final bar competitor.
Yep, good call. She'll go last year for the Huskies.
Here she is. She has a huge Ginger. So much height on that, connected directly to a bail. Here she goes. She has a big full-in dismount. Great height and a stick for the Huskies. That is exactly what you want for your ending routine on bars.
Sophomore out of Lincoln, Nebraska. The fans enjoying that finish. And now we will get, I believe, a couple exhibitions, but what a finish there for Hooper. Great rotation here for the Huskies up on the uneven bars.
Watch this stick here. Great height. Nails it. That is exactly how you want to finish. You want to finish with a really strong routine, a great landing to get you geared up for the next event, which in this case will be beam for the Huskies. So you definitely want to go in with as much confidence as possible.
And the Huskies, remember, had that small advantage of 4.8.9 after their first rotation, comparable to a 4.8.8 for CMU. So as expected, this meet you would think is going to come right down to the end. So every point, every stuck dismount, those are going to come and be crucial at the end as we move into the exhibitions.
Exactly. Up next for an exhibition on bars, this is Nina Martucci. She is a senior this year. She has been in and out of the bar lineups, really working hard to break her way back in. She competed for the Huskies in the MAC championship last year. So this routine is big for her.
And she's one of the captains on this team, Emily, and although she's not in the lineup right now, Coach Morielli has said her leadership is still pivotal whether she's in lineup or not.
Exactly. Nina has such strong confidence, and she really is such a strong dismount. There's her Tkachev. Beautiful. Hit her heel slightly on the bar, but she's moving right through it. Amazing handstand. Great lines. Comes the dismount. A great routine for Nina. I'm sure that felt really good, knowing that she really wants to be in that lineup and really pushing forward. That was a great routine.
And pretty cool. Her sister, Anna Martucci, who graduated with you last year, two-time MAC Special of the Year, she is in attendance, able to watch her sister, so that had to be pretty cool to do that in front of her older sister as she gives her a kiss right there.
Yeah, Anna was an amazing teammate, and she's an amazing sister, and I know that they both really look up to each other, and they really motivate each other. So there you can see her watching in the crowd. It's great to see them supporting each other. It's really, their bond is like no other.
Yeah, pretty special moment. And we'll see what Nina Martucci can do the rest of this year. The two out of Clarkston, Michigan. And we've got one more, it looks like, coming up. Tara Kaufmel is expected to exhibition as well for the Huskies before we wrap up this second rotation here in DeKalb.
And Tara, even though she's in an exhibition spot, I do believe she's doing all 4 events today, so it's still considered she's doing all around, even though her score may not count towards the bar lineup.
And again, we mentioned in the open, it's her second straight week doing that. She was in the all-around against Illinois State last Friday.
Tara Kaufmel.
Competitors like Kaufmel that Coach Morielli is building this program around with how much they lost last year. There's some good youth and young talent on his roster this season.
Absolutely. Tara's really stepped up on all 4 events. There's her Jaeger. Great height. A little loose there on the bar transition, but she's working through it. Here comes a unique dismount again. Oh, she wasn't able to stand it up, but still, that's what an exhibition spot is for. It's for working through the kinks and really making sure you can gain your confidence out there.
Good to still have the support from her teammates to pick her up. As we have finished up this second rotation, halfway home between Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. It was close after one rotation. We'll have the scores coming back on the other side for the second rotation, but again, really good routines for both Northern Illinois and Central Michigan. We'll get you the scores when we come back to the Here are the updated scores between Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. Danelle Pedrick, you see her there. She stood out there in that second rotation up on the vault for CMU.
Yes, with that impressive double Yurchenko full, she got a 9.9, which is a very great score, especially for a vault, which is a little harder deduction usually, just because of how difficult it is to land it, and the body positions have to be really sharp for the judges to want to give you a 9.9. So that is a great vault score for her and for the Central Michigan Chippewas. Here's that vault again. You see she does a extra full twist at the end there. Great landing. You can see her excitement. That was a great vault, and I'm sure a great feeling to end the second rotation in that way.
Yeah, she won the all-around at the MAC Championships a season ago and was the MAC Gymnast of the Year. We'll see her in all 4 events again. Again, those updated scores, Northern Illinois and Central Michigan battling right now. It's tight. Chippewas with a 9.7.9, while the Huskies a 9.7.6. What do you take out of those scores, Emily, through the first 2 competitions here halfway home here in DeKalb?
It's still a really tight meet. I mean, if you think about it, 3.10s could be anything. 3.10s could be a fall. 3.10s could be 3 sticks. So it really is still quite a tight competition. The Huskies are really going to need to nail all of their beam routines, and the Central Michigan Chippewas are going to have to really show off their floor like they always do, and everyone's going to have to be intense and ready to go for each event. So this is Morgan Hooper. She had the bar high score for the NIU Huskies. She had a 9.9. She has that beautifully high ginger. You can see her excitement there. You always want to end with a stick. You always want to end with a great routine, and Morgan Hooper was able to deliver there.
We talked about Anna Martucci earlier, the sister of Nina. She had a great performance a couple of years ago in a MAC regular season match. She had a 10 from one of the judges on the floor, and you remember that moment specifically.
I remember. It gives me chills every time I think about it. You can see just her face. She knew that it was an amazing routine. I'm almost tearing up just thinking about that moment. Every gymnast's dream to get a 10. There is her reaction to that. She didn't get a 10 overall. She did get a 10 from one judge, but even just earning that from one judge is such an accomplishment. It is such an amazing dream come true for Anna. It was a great moment for our team as well, to feel so inspired by her, to just feel that energy and that happiness from achieving a lifelong goal.
Again, Anna Martucci, two-time MAC Specialist of the Year, graduated last year. Her sister Nina performing as a senior, and she's out here supporting her. Coming up on the balance beam, what are you expecting here, Emily? I know we've talked with Coach Morielli. He says this is one of their deepest rotations. They've got a lot of options here and a good opportunity for them to perform well and get back into this meet.
Exactly. NIU actually has so many awesome girls on beam that they could make up 2 full lineups with the amount of girls that they have on beam. Their beam squad is so clean, so tight. They have a few unique skills, and they're really confident in themselves, which is something that you strive for as a coach, as a gymnast, as a team. It's all about confidence, and it's all about consistency, and that's what you have in this beam squad.
The Huskies are going to start with Catherine Biddle to get them off, hopefully trending in the right direction. For Central Michigan, they will go to the floor again. You're not in that Olympic rotation. Usually you get to do the floor routine last. They'll step up to the floor first. What are you looking for them over there on the floor for this third rotation?
Yeah, the Chippewas for floor are so impressive with their tumbling. They're really tight, they're really sharp, and their dance is fun to watch. It makes it intriguing for the judges. It gets the crowd involved into it. It really makes for a more energized competition. So with the floor routines, I'm looking for energy. We're obviously looking for sticks, clean landings, tight lines, and then hopefully for fourth rotation, when they rotate to the beam, they're able to do the same thing.
All right, horn just sounded, so touch warm-ups are over. We're just about ready to get going in this third rotation. One more time, we'll update you the scores before we start this third rotation. Central Michigan after 2, 97.9. And for Northern Illinois, they've got a 97.6. So the Huskies with some ground to make up. Chippewas are looking to continue what they built upon from that second rotation up on the vault. And again, tight as expected between 2 of the top teams in the Mid-American Conference. Central Michigan was picked first at the beginning of the year. Northern Illinois was picked second. Each of these 2 teams either won the regular season or won the MAC championships a season ago. So we knew this was going to be a huge, huge meet coming into this afternoon.
Exactly, and as the Huskies head over to beam, it's vitally important that they make their routines. Like I said, every stick counts. So I'm excited to see how their lineup goes and how the floor lineup turns out today.
All right, well, just getting ready here. Central Michigan looks like they're going to step up potentially first. Should mention is also the pink meet here for the Huskies and the Chippewas, which is always a great cause. You usually see this around the Mid-American Conference in college gymnastics, supporting cancer awareness, and the Huskies doing that just a couple of days into February here in the 2020 season.
Here's Catherine Biddle. She's a junior leadoff on the beam. Great leap. You're really looking for those 180-degree splits. Anything below that, and the judges can deduct.
Her season high came at Kent State earlier this season, a 9.8 up on the balance beam for Biddle.
Great flip-flop layout step out, so solid, not even a wobble at all. She's really confident up on this beam. You can tell she feels comfortable, she feels at home, she moves right through it.
And that's why you put her in that first spot in the balance beam rotation.
Exactly, you want to start off the team strong, you want to start off the team's confidence on a strong note, and Catherine Biddle is perfect for this position. Another great set of leaps, both 180. Here comes the dismount. A great aerial to a layout full. What an awesome start for the Huskies on beam. Not even a bobble to be found. That is exactly what you want for your leadoff. Here comes the dismount. Beautiful aerial. Pretty much a stick there, maybe a slight shift in her feet.
So good start for the Huskies in this third rotation. We go over to the floor. This is Kennedy Ray Johnson, who's had a nice afternoon in her first two rotations.
Great double back. Her chest was up, very solid landing. You're really going to want to look for some fun dance here to get the crowd involved. Beautiful leaps. Second pass. Front layout, front full. A little bit of looseness there, but she pulled it out. Here she goes, getting ready for her third pass, finishing out her routine.
Yes, it is.
That is a whip back 1.5 to a punch front. That is a great pass to end on, especially with the whip back. It's a little bit unique in the fact that it gives you an extra 10th for whatever pass that you're doing it with.
So Kennedy Ray Johnson, the first for Central Michigan on the floor. Again, she competed both in the vault and the uneven bars.
Here's that pass again. Great routine for the Chips.
Next on beam for the Huskies,
Tara Kaufmel is next up for the Huskies on the balance beam.
Like we've said before, Tara's worked her way into this lineup. She's originally a floor and a vault kid, and now she is competing on the bars and the beam, really making a splash in this all-around competition. A fall there for Tara on her series, a flip-flop layout step out. That's not typically what you want to see for the second girl up on beam. Let's hope she finishes this routine strong. Very nice aerial. Another fall for Tara there on her leap pass. Dismount, round off 1.5, a great dismount there. I know that's not the routine that she probably wanted, but she did nail the dismount. You can see the support from the teammates here. Now it's time to rally up and make sure these other routines are solid. So here's those falls for Tara. This layout step out, she was a little bit crooked on the side of the beam there. She just couldn't keep her hips on top of the beam, which is why she was able to fall. And then here, she also, her hips and her balance was just slightly off on that leap when she landed. Her feet kind of came a little bit off, so not great for Tara there.
Unfortunately, just no room for error up on the balance beam. It is very tough.
A little bit of step out of bounds there for Sierra Demarinis. She didn't fall, but that is a deduction. The judges will take a 10th or 2 depending on how far out of bounds she was. Beautiful leaps. Second pass. a double pike. Her chest was a little bit low on that landing, causing her to step forward. That will be a little bit of a deduction from the judges. Here she goes for her third and final pass. 1.5 punch layout. That was a beautiful finish. Great way to finish that routine.
She had a 9.775 on the vault and 8.950 on the bars.
Here's this last pass. Watch this height she gets on the front layout. Great way to finish off that routine.
And now Zoe Schroeder up onto the balance beam for the Huskies.
Zoe actually does a very impressive series up on the beam. It's called a triple series. She'll actually do 3 skills in a row compared to the typical 2. Very solid on that series. She nailed it. All 3 skills were great and straight. This lineup now has a little bit of pressure on it because of the fall. Zoe not looking phased at all from that.
Yeah, and that's something that Coach Morielli has said. She is so even-keeled when she gets up on the bar, stays focused and in the zone. That's one of the reasons he can trust her in these situations.
See a little smile there on that beam when she landed the leap pass. She knows her routine's finishing up. Here comes the dismount. A great routine for Zoe. That is a hit that they needed. Not exactly a stick, but she nailed all of her skills, and she really had a great finish there.
What's that like, Emily, to go after one of your teammates that struggled and fallen? You're trying to pick the team back up with your own routine.
It is very nerve-wracking, but you can't think about the fall. You really have to think about just doing what you know how to do, really focusing on your routine, not panicking, and staying in the zone.
All right, over to the floor. This is Sydney Williams. Again, one of the captains for this Central Michigan team. Junior out of Germantown, Tennessee.
You can see she's got really sharp, really entertaining dance. A really high first pass, which was a double pike, but she did step out of bounds, had a little bit of over-rotation there.
It's 2 Chippewas now in a row that have gone out of bounds, so deductions certainly will be coming there for her and Demarinis.
Ooh, quite a low front tuck out of that pass. She was able to save it though, but the judges will definitely take a deduction for the low landing and the steps backwards. Finishing up her routine, here comes her third pass. Another under-rotated pass. She was able to save it, but the judges will definitely take some hits there on her landings.
So Sydney Williams finishes up.
Here's this pass. She goes out of bounds a little bit. See that great height. She just wasn't quite ready for the landing. She was able to save it. And then here's the second pass. She came in a little bit low, able to save it with her back foot, but definitely want more height on that front tuck than she had.
All right, how about Morgan Hooper? What are you looking for up here on the balance beam?
Morgan also has a very difficult back series. She will do 2 layout step outs in a row, which is amazing. It is a very, very hard series to do, and that's why you don't see many gymnasts doing it. She also has a unique turn there where she's down, kind of squatted in a position. It's called a wolf turn. It's also quite hard.
Yeah, it doesn't look easy, that's for
No.
sure.
So this is also a very solid looking routine for Hooper. Another great 180 split. This is looking like a very solid routine from her. Comes the dismount. And a stick. That was an incredible routine. You can see her excitement. She knew that she nailed that. Every single skill was hit. No wobbles to be found. That was a definite routine that the Huskies needed. Here it is again. You can see those feet do not move. She's able to move those heels together. Her and the teammates are really excited.
How about the response from the Huskies, Emily? Kaufmel has the fall, unfortunately, off the beam twice, and both Schroeder and Hooper have really picked her and the team up after that.
Yes, they've done an incredible job.
This is the sophomore Morgan Tong.
Some fun dance moves here in the beginning. Her first pass. And that is a front through to a double back, which actually gives her a couple bonus tenths being able to do a front tuck into it. And on top of that, she stuck it, which is great.
She's got the We Will Rock You remix going, which is always fun for these gymnasts. You get to pick your choreography, which is what makes it so special on the floor. That's why a lot of gymnasts love to do this, love to compete.
A lot of gymnasts also love floor because of how personal it is to you. Just that second pass. Another 1.5 punch pike. No short landing on this one, however. She nailed that. Here she goes for her third and final pass. That'll be a double pike. Stuck with her legs, but her chest was slightly down, so the judges will take a deduction there. Overall, though, great routine.
Morgan Tong, the sophomore out of Ontario. Impressive.
Here's that beautifully full of height front pike she did. And there's a double pike. You see her feet don't move. Her chest is a little bit down, but no deduction there for the feet.
Got high expectations for Tong, the reigning MAC Freshman of the Year for Central Michigan. Back to the balance beam. Here's the senior, Allison Richardson.
Here she goes. She does her series right away in her routine. A little bobble, but she was able to save it. That's the kind of confidence and the calm that you need to be able to nail these series. Front toss. Another slight wobble, but she's really staying calm up there, which is the key. If you wobble and you start to panic, there's a high possibility of coming off that beam. So the fact that she's able to stay calm and hold these wobbles is really great.
She had a career best coming at the perfect time at the MAC Championships up on the balance beam last year, a 9.85.
Great leaps. Here she goes, finishing up her routine. All that's left is her dismount. See a small smile there. She's ready. She does a flip-flop 1.5. Great routine for Allison Richardson. A slight hop on the landing, but overall, the Huskies needed a stick, and she gave them one.
They're looking for one more stick coming up from Mia Lord next, but excellent job here by the senior.
Next on floor for Central Michigan.
Great confidence. Here we go with Hannah Demers on floor. This is what I said about Central Michigan's really great and intriguing dance. First pass is a front double full, which is extremely difficult, extremely hard on your body. It's a very impressive pass to start off with. Another beautiful pass. She looks extremely confident out there.
Just a true freshman, finished third in the all-around at the Junior Olympic Nationals last year. Coming in from Canton, Michigan.
She's got some real fun dance. Great leaps. Both of those splits hit 180. And here she goes, gearing up for her third and final pass. Wow, what a great finish to end on a Rudy. You can see her clear excitement, and being a freshman and being able to be in the lineup and so far down in the lineup is quite a great accomplishment. The judges really do take into account the difficulty of these passes. Next up on beam, we have Mia Lord, Jr. Mia is such a strong beam worker, and she has also a very unique series. She'll start out with a front aerial, connected directly into a flip-flop layout step out. And she saved it. What a great series. It really is key here for Mia to hit this routine, and she looks really confident up there. Great leaps. The second leap she did is a double stag, and it's really difficult because she has to actually take her eyes off of the beam, flip her head backwards, and then bring it back to the beam again. So taking your eyes off the beam is never fun.
Yeah, blind look there. That's not easy.
Not easy at all. And here comes her dismount. Round off, double full. Great routine. That is definitely what the Huskies needed, so they can drop Tara's score now. That is actually the routine that Mia ended with at Max last year that clinched us the championship. So great routine from Mia there. This is her mount. She has a great mount. It's a press handstand all the way up. You don't see that very often. Most gymnasts want to take the easier route and just get up on the beam, but here's that dismount, round off double full. Just great. You can see the excitement in the team as well. And then here we have senior Danelle Pedrick finishing it off for the Chippewas. First pass. That is a triple full, which is also extremely hard. It is extremely valuable to this team to have a triple full in your lineup. Is outstanding.
Pedrick was an NCAA individual qualifier back in 2018 on the floor. Again, top all-arounder in the MAC last year, and certainly for this Central Michigan squad, finishing up their rotation.
Second pass. 1.5 punch layout. You see no hesitation, no over-rotation, no under-rotation, just great landing. Some more fun dance here. Getting ready for her third and final pass to finish out the floor rotation for the Chippewas. Double pike, great landing. That is exactly the type of ending you want for your floor squad. What a fun ending. Here's that last pass again. Round off flip flop, double pike. You see no hesitation whatsoever. That's Sass. She was really excited about that routine.
All right, and then a couple exhibitions coming up. This is Liana Roman stepping in for the Huskies.
Great series for Liana. Liana is a sophomore out of New Jersey. Been fighting her way into lineups as well. She's also a great bar worker.
She's someone that's gone through a lot of injuries for the Huskies, and as you said, trying to work her way into the lineup, continuing to compete just as sophomore, so plenty of time to break through.
Great leap for her there. A little bit of leg separation. The judges might take a tenth or two just for the rotation of the leap. Great gainer full to a stick dismount. That was a great exhibition routine for her, and like we said, the exhibition spots are so important to push the team forward, and she really nailed that.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier, Emily, but really explain to us, what is the point of the exhibitions? Why do they mean so much to these gymnasts as they compete in front of the crowd?
Right, so exhibition spots are so vitally important for not only the gymnast confidence, but for the team confidence. So for a gymnast, you really aspire to be in the lineup. Of course, you really want to push yourself forward. So to get an exhibition spot is your chance to prove that you deserve to be in the lineup. It's your chance to prove that you can hit under pressure. And from a team standpoint, the exhibition spot is really important to also find that depth, find that that next person up if there's an injury or if someone needs to be pulled from the lineup that day. That exhibition spot helps the team feel secure, helps the team feel ready for anything to come their way. Being in an exhibition spot for a lot of my junior year on bars, it really helped prepare me for my senior year when I was actually in the lineup, knowing that I could hit a routine under pressure and knowing that I had technically competed in the competition and I knew what the environment was like, I knew what the fans were like. So it really does mentally prepare you to actually compete in a lineup.
It looks like we've got one more exhibition coming up for Lauren Gomes. So as you mentioned, this is an important spot, even though you're not going to get counted for points.
This is actually, I'm seeing now the lineup has changed. Exhibition is now Gabby Welch.
Okay. So great chance for Gabby Welch. We thought Lauren Gomes was going to go, but you're right. It's the junior out of Tennessee stepping in. And that's something that these gymnasts go through as well. Sometimes you don't expect to be in the lineup, even if it is exhibition, and then you get put into the lineup and have to perform just as well as before.
Exactly. That's something that's so nerve-wracking about this sport too, is you just never know. And some days you may walk in thinking you might not compete, Beam, and then here you are in the exhibition spot. So I'm sure Gabby's probably feeling the pressure, but it looks like she's handling it great.
It's that old cliche, you always got to be ready and be prepared no matter what.
Exactly. That's what the training is for. Here comes her series. Beautiful flip-flop layout step out, not a wobble whatsoever. And as head coach Sam Moriali said, Gabby is such a hard worker. She puts her all into every event. Beautiful leaps there, as you can see. She really just works hard to get into the lineup on every event. Slight bobble there. You can see she saved it. Here comes the dismount. Oh, excuse me, sorry. This was her aerial acro. Beautifully done. No wobbles there. Here comes the dismount. Just a flip-flop, 1.5. Great routine for Gabby. I'm sure that felt good to be kind of thrown into the exhibition spot and to be able to hit your routine is really something. It probably really proved to her that she can do it and proved to Sam that she can also do it.
Yeah, great finish there for the Huskies. We are through 3 rotations. Again, scores will be coming up when we come back, but it's a tight one between Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. The MAC Gymnast of the Year from a season ago, Danelle Pedrick, putting up another great score on the floor routine. Back for the final rotation between Central Michigan and Northern Illinois here in DeKalb. And Emily, so far through 3 rotations, you can see it's very tight between these two teams.
Right, which we knew was going to happen coming into this meet. You can see there's just a little under or a little over a 10th between these two teams. And it's a great matchup. You have Central Michigan going to beam and NIU going to floor. And typically both of these teams tend to nail their last events and finish off strong, so it should be a great last rotation. I'm excited to see how it ends up.
Let's take a peek back at the last rotation, starting with the Chippewas. Danelle Pedrick, she has been one of the standouts, as mentioned, in her 4-year career. She had the best score on the floor with a 9.875.
There it is. You can see that attitude. She knew she nailed it. She had a great routine with that triple full, which is just really such a hard skill and so impressive that she's able to do it.
And on the other side for the Huskies, Morgan Hooper, she won the bars individually. She also had the best score on the beam with a 9.825.
Here's that dismount again. She had a stick, didn't move those feet at all. You can see that excitement as she presents to the judges. The Huskies, after Tara's fall, they really needed to nail all the rest of their routines, and they did so. They went up there with confidence and stayed calm. So I'm excited to see how that calmness has transitioned over to a power event like floor.
And again, tight here through 3 rotations. It came down to these 2 teams last year right here in DeKalb for the MAC championships. It was NIU switched back to the last 2. They were on beam to finish up. We talked about it. Mia Lord had to come through in the clutch, and she did so
This
here.
is her dismount to clinch us the title right here. You can see how excited she is. It was an actual moment in history for the Huskies. This was the first time that we had won the MAC championship ever in our school history. So you can see her emotion there and the team going crazy. Everyone was crying. It was just such an emotional win. It was such an emotional routine. I remember, I think I might have blacked out during her routine. I was so nervous. You can see just how happy we all are.
There you are on the left side of the screen.
My tears streaming very attractively. And here we go. There she is, Mia Lord. Another great routine today. A moment in history I definitely will never forget.
Emily Graham now, you got married over the summer, and of course Becerra then. Here you are right here, but
Yes.
You had some great performances, a captain on last year's team, and look what we found.
Oh my, yep, here was a bar routine. I'm not sure which one this is. A nice stick from me. No, I remember every single stick counts, every single routine counts, and every single routine that you do, you will always remember. It really makes a spark in your memory. I'm tearing up just thinking about competing again. I do miss it so much. Thanks for the highlight reel.
And not even 1 year removed. I mean, this was, you were competing last year and a part of this team. You certainly still hold many memories with the squad right now, and of course, Coach Sam Morielli. But
thank you.
What a job you guys did to pull that out and win that first MAC championship as we look at some of the highlights from that right now.
That was Max there. That was the routine of my life after a great floor rotation. Certainly a moment, like I said, I will never forget. I definitely started crying numerous times throughout the day. It was really just an experience that you can't replicate. It's something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And Coach Morielli said that wasn't just a team win of the MAC championships. He said that was a program win. It was a culmination of when he got here in the 8 seasons, every team helping to get them closer and closer. It was a second place finish in 2018, and then finally last year, you guys pulled through, and Coach Morielli couldn't be more thrilled for you and this program.
Exactly. It was a team goal, it was a personal goal, and I know it was a huge goal for head coach Sam Morielli. This is something he had also dreamed about just with the rest of us getting this MAC championship title. And of course, once you have it once, you want it again. So I know this team is fighting tooth and nail once again for another season to really pull it out, try to do it again.
Yeah, touch warm-ups all done quickly before we get going here. Emily with the last rotation, Central Michigan with a 146.450 score. For NIU, they've got a 146.325. What are you looking for both sides? CMU on the balance beam and then NIU over on the floor.
Exactly. So with CMU, just as NIU, you really want all 6 routines hit. You don't want any room for error. You don't want any bobbles. You really want confidence. There's head coach Christine McDonald talking to her, trying to get her pumped up, ready to go. You really want to stay calm, and you really just want to go out there and do what you know how to do. You don't want to overthink it. So for beam, we're really looking for tightness and stuck routines. And then over on the floor, we're really just looking for powerhouse tumbling, solid landings, great dance, and of course great leaps. Can't forget about nailing the leaps. They are essential to your routine. So for NIU, we're just looking to have fun, go out there and nail every single pass, minimize deductions as much as possible.
And again, this is what comes with being at home. You get to compete in that Olympic style, so a little bit more looser, more fun there on the floor for Central Michigan. As you guys finished on the balance beam to win the MAC championships last year, that's what the Chippewas are going to have to do in this regular season meet if they're going to get out of here with the W.
Exactly, and definitely ending on beam is the much harder task. There's a lot more room for error, obviously, on beam, so there's definitely pressure on the Chippewas being on beam, and there's pressure on NIU being a little bit behind in the competition so far.
Just about ready to get going. Central Michigan will be led off by Sierra DeMarinis, we think, but we are being told by our production squad in the back we've got some lineup changes. So we talked about this, and we knew Coach Sam Morielli's got a big smile on his face over there walking around the floor, that with some of the injuries that Northern Illinois has faced and some of the changes that go on throughout a meet, as we talked about, you've always got to be ready because sometimes changes will be made, and this is certainly a critical point in this meet where they're going to be coming.
Exactly. So you have senior Lauren Gomes about to lead off for the Huskies on floor. Like I said before, this was her first meet ever competing for her college career on bars. And now not only did she do bars, but she's about to do floor for the first time in her collegiate career. So this is just, you can see she's excited there. This is just a great meet for her. I'm sure it's an exciting one and a nervous one, but she looks ready to go.
We asked you about kind of exhibitions and getting prepared and such like that, but how about for these down periods where you're getting ready? The meet is literally on the line coming into this last rotation, and we're waiting for changes. How do you stay mentally engaged to get ready for your performance when we have periods like this in the meet?
Exactly. Something that really helped me is making sure that I visualize my routine beforehand. You really want to make sure you're going onto the floor or the beam or any event really knowing exactly how you want to perform. So it's essential that you visualize, that you have confidence in yourself, and you don't question what you're about to do.
Some young gymnasts in the crowd watching some of these gymnasts that went through their younger years, obviously, to get to this point as we start up here on the balance beam for Central Michigan.
Here comes a series. A little bit of a bobble, but she was able to save it there. She looks really confident. Another slight wobble on the leap. Turns are something that are a little bit underestimated on the beam. They're really quite hard to nail 100% of the time. There's a front aerial. She did touch her hands on the beam, which in this case could be counted as a fall if the judges see it. Dismount, round off 1.5, a little bit of a step backwards under rotation. She stayed on the beam, so it's still a solid start for Central Michigan, but they definitely want to keep improving as routines go on.
I believe that's Mackenzie Parker for Central Michigan that just competed, the senior leading off there for the Chippewas. Again, she was expected to go third for CMU, but Coach McDonald bumping her up into that first spot. Now we go back to floor.
Here's Lauren Gomes, her first ever collegiate floor routine. A great double pike. Here's her second pass. And a double back. You can tell she's really excited about that. Some fun dance moves. Goes the leaps. For floor, in this case, the leadoff spot is really important for them to get that energy and that great vibe going. Here she goes, making her way to the corner for her third and final pass. One and a half punch layout, a little bit sloppy here or there with the legs and the tightness, but overall she nailed it. A great first floor routine. You can see that emotion in her face again. This is a moment she's been long waiting for.
Remember, we talked about Gomes earlier today. As we take a look at her last couple of passes, she nailed her bars routine and nails it again here on the floor.
This is such a great day for her. I'm sure she's feeling so excited she finally got the chance to be in the lineups.
You can definitely tell the giant smile on her face. All the hard work finally paying off, fighting through the pain, knee brace and all. But now a time to collectively exhale.
Yes.
I did it, and let's move on, and hopefully she can continue that, and there's the big hug from her head coach.
I know he's probably really proud of her for how hard she has worked for this moment. It's been a long 4 years for her.
Back to the balance beam, Central Michigan, their second routine. Christy Teeny, the freshman out of East Northport, New York, competing for the first time this afternoon.
Comes a series. Flip-flop layout step out. A slight bobble, but she was able to stay on. Great leaps, both 180. A front aerial acro. A slight wobble there that caused her to lose the connection in between those two skills, but overall, solid. And the dismount, a round off, double full, a great dismount, a difficult dismount, a step on the landing, but a solid routine.
Pretty fun to see. She's obviously locked in, the judge locked in as well. So important, you hit every little spot. And there's the dismount one more time.
Exactly.
Again, another freshman. 8 freshmen in all on this 2020 Central Michigan roster. The latest, Christy Teeny, the one to perform. We go back to the floor.
Here is freshman Brooklyn Sears. A great lead-off double pike. Like we said before, we weren't sure if Brooklyn was going to be in the lineup today because she had jammed her hands up this past week, but I'm glad to see she's out there. Great straddle leaps. A round off 1.5 punch layout. That was flawless. It was beautiful. Her landing was right on top. This is a great routine so far. Gearing up here for her third pass. A double back to end off her routine. Slightly low chest there, which will be a little bit of a deduction being her last pass, but overall great routine. She was very clean. Should be a good score there for Brooklyn Sears.
And again, all things considered, going through the injuries, fighting through the pain, really nice day for Brooklyn Sears, competing on the bars and then finishing up on the floor.
Exactly. Especially being able to use her hands, which she jammed to get through this floor routine, and to be able to grab her legs and pull herself around is really impressive.
And that's really one of the underrated things about gymnastics, and all of these competitors at one point or another throughout your career, you're typically fighting through some sort of pain or injury, and they do such a great job of, 1, hiding that, and 2, continuing to go out there and fight through it in battle.
Exactly. Injuries are a huge part of this sport, and it's really impressive to come back from one and nail it.
Hannah Demers, the freshman out of Canton, up on the balance beam.
A front aerial acro there. Had a slight wobble, but she was able to stay on. Another wobble on her turn. As I said before, turns can be underestimated for how hard it is to stay square and straight on those. Here comes her series. A gorgeous flip-flop layout step out, no bobbles to be found. Great finish there for Hannah Demers. She had a few wobbles here, which will knock her score down a little bit. Here's that one on the front aerial. See her wobble a little bit, her arms kind of circle. The judges may take 1 to 2 tenths depending on how they feel. But overall, great routine, great series, and a great finish.
How important is it to hold that balance and stay up there on the beam, even though there is that wobble you're talking about?
So important, like we were talking about before. You really want to be able to have all 6 scores solid for your team. Here is Gabby Welch on floor. She just finished her double layout as her first pass. It's very impressive. Second pass, half into a front layout. A little bit of over rotation there. You can see her kind of bounce out of that front layout. Will be a couple tenths there. This is the hardest part of the routine, preparing yourself for this last pass, really trying to catch your breath and give yourself enough energy to get through. Here it comes. A round off flip-flop, double pike. A little bit of chest low on that, but she nailed it. Great routine there for junior Gabby Welch.
Impressive stuff. Again, this is a tight meet here between Central Michigan and Northern Illinois coming down the stretch in the final rotation. Everything matters here.
Here's this over-rotated slightly, but her body position was there. Here's that final pass, double pike. She was able to get all the way around, but her chest was still pretty down on the landing. There's Sam giving some corrections there. High fives all around. Solid routine for Gabby.
Yeah, nice job from the junior out of Tennessee. 3 more routines each way for Central Michigan and for Northern Illinois. And again, it was extremely tight coming into this. 146.45 for Central Michigan, 146.325 heading into this last rotation. An opportunity here, Emily, for us. You're unique. You just graduated with Northern Illinois and had a chance to compete under Sam Morielli, who brought this first championship to the Huskies. What was it like competing for him?
Sam is an incredible person to compete for. If you look at all the reasons why all the gymnasts come to NIU, it is primarily because of Sam and because of associate head coach Nita Teague. They're great people. They're great people to be under, and it's such a joy to be a gymnast for them.
Yeah, he seems like a great guy, and again, has done great things with this program. Morgan Tong now up on the balance beam.
That was a great series she just nailed. Leaps here. Another one of those jumps that you have to take your eyes off of the beam for, which makes the landing a little bit tricky. It's a blind landing. You really have to squeeze your core and make sure you're staying on top of the beam.
You see head coach Christine McDonald down on a knee cheering on her sophomore, the reigning MAC freshman of the year, in a big spot here late in this meet.
The dismount, aerial full there. A great finish up. It's very difficult to do an acro into your dismount. It takes a lot of precision, and she did great. Here it is again.
Next on floor for the Huskies, Allison Richardson.
Great finish.
There's not much room there at the edge of the beam. You get 1 foot, 2 foot, and then go dismount. That is incredibly tough.
Exactly. Here's Allie Richardson, senior captain, up on the floor. Here comes her first pass. Double pike, beautifully executed, great landing. A great second pass. You can see she had no under rotation, no over rotation, right on top of herself. She's got some fun dance here too, some great music, really getting the crowd involved. One thing Allie is famous for on floor is her winks to the judges and to the teammates. Really makes it more fun.
That's a big part of it too. You got to have a smile on your face and have a great presentation for the judges.
Yep, the judges are looking for presentation, they're looking for artistry, and they're looking for you to have fun yourselves. Here she goes, finishing up with the third pass. A beautiful Rudy, a little shuffly with her feet, but overall, a great routine that the Huskies needed with minimal deductions.
Nice job from the captain, Allison Richardson, the senior out of Marysville, Ohio.
Here's that 1.5 punch layout. Great finish there. Up next, Danelle Pedrick, senior on Central Michigan. Gearing up for her series. Now what you want to see there from your anchor spot, or excuse me, second to anchor spot on beam, a fall on her series.
And she has been nearly perfect today on all of her other rotations.
A great leap. Looks like she's staying calm up there despite the fall. A great front aerial, no bobbles to be found. She's not giving anything else away. And a stuck double full off the end of the beam. The stick had to feel good. I know that's probably not what she wanted. They definitely wanted to hit all 6 routines, but it was a great finish.
And this is going to be interesting who they put
Here's
in
that fall again. A little bit off balance, sorry.
No, you're fine. Who they put in that 6th spot, because remember, Emily, they changed up their rotation, so it was actually Mackenzie Parker that led off. I think Christine McDonald was hoping they could count the first 5 scores. Now it's going to be crucial. Who do they put in that 6th spot here coming up with a meet on the line?
Here's sophomore Tara Kaufmel on floor. Beautiful double pike. Like I said at the beginning, Tara is a floor rock star. She comes out here, she has such height, such power, and she really shows off her routine, has a smile on her face the whole time. Beautiful leaps. Tara is known for her beautiful extend on her leaps. Here she goes for her second pass. 1.5 punch layout. Great finish. Like I said, this is the important time to breathe. Great routine so far. Double back for her last pass and almost a stuck landing. That was a great routine for Tara, great routine for the Huskies. I know they're happy about that.
Coach Morielli fist pumping and clapping in the background. Excellent work right there.
Here's that first pass again, right, that's exactly what you want to see, right on top of her feet and able to have her chest up the entire pass. Nice routine for Tara Kaufman.
All right, so here we go for Central Michigan. Stepping in, it's Savannah Cotis, who is expected to exhibition, the true freshman, hoping that she can come through so they don't have to count Danelle Pedrick's score as she just fell moments ago up on the balance beam.
Great, that's another one of those triple series where you see 3 skills in a row. She had a front aerial to a flip-flop layout step out. Good leaps, it's a great solid routine so far.
The teammates really cheering her on here. True freshman again in a big spot.
Another acro into a dismount, an aerial to a tuck full. That was a great routine. She's a little emotional, a little happy. That routine probably felt so great being a true freshman and being able to be an anchor on beam for the Chippewas.
Talk about growing up in a big way.
There's that aerial tuck full. Not quite a stuck landing. Her legs were a little apart, a step there, but great routine and great way to finish out the meet for the Chippewas.
Savannah Cotis, there she is, coming through to finish up. And the judges evaluating what that score is going to be. In the meantime, one more floor rotation coming up for the Huskies.
Will be senior captain Amanda Bartimeo. Amanda has worked so hard on this routine to make it perfect. She has one of the most beautiful double layouts I've ever seen. She goes out here and brings energy, she brings excitement, and you'll really see in her dance how great this routine is and how much the crowd really loves it.
And again, a captain in this spot, a senior to close out the meet for the Huskies. Hoping for a big score from Bartimeo.
Here she goes. Here's that double layout I was talking about. Beautiful height, beautiful body position, and a great landing. Some fun dance. The entire team knows these moves. Great leap. You see the team in the background there copying. Here's her second pass. 2 front layouts in a row, followed by a jump, and those jumps are added at the end there to clean up landings, to make sure you can stay on top of yourself. She goes, gearing up for her final pass. This will be it for the Huskies. A double back, beautiful landing, chest was up. A little bit of leg separation, but overall, that was a great way for the Huskies to finish out the meet. Beautiful routine from Amanda.
Great stuff from the senior captain, Amanda Bartimeo.
Here's that double layout I was talking about. It's perfect every time. And something else, Amanda actually tore a couple ligaments in her thumb just a few weeks ago. She was casted up, and just this past week she was able to get that cast off, and right away she's competing.
She did that on a bar dismount, and you're right, she's still able to find a way. In the meantime, while she was competing, Sierra DeMarinis had an exhibition up on the balance beam. So this meet has concluded. We're just waiting for the scores right now between the Chippewas and the Huskies to see who won this thing. But what a meet we just saw, Emily.
That was an incredible meet. It was tooth and nail every single event. Each girl went out there with the intention to win. Each girl went out there with the intention to nail their routines. And like we saw, it was highly competitive, and it was a great meet for the Huskies and the Chippewas.
All right, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we'll tally up all the scores individually and team-wise, see who won this battle between the Huskies and the Chippewas on this Sunday afternoon. This is the reaction from the Huskies, finding out that all 6 scores were a 9-6 or better on the floor. What a close to this meet for Sam Borrielli's squad.
It was an absolutely incredible floor squad today. Everybody went out there and nailed it. They really went out there with confidence, destroyed their dance, and the Central Michigan Chippewas had a fall on beam that unfortunately was a little bit of a mess up for them.
Well, let's take a look at the final scores of this one. Remember, NIU came in trailing into that 4th rotation, but it looks like they have come back. A 195.1 for the Huskies. Again, a huge floor routine to boost them and pick up this win.
Exactly. It was a great floor rotation for them. This is an updated score, actually. It's a 195.075 for NIU and a 194.475 for Central Michigan, which, like we said before, we knew it was going to be a close competition, and these teams really do fight tooth and nail for a win against each other every single time. They've been rivals since the start, so this is really just a great win for NIU, a great morale booster as they head on throughout the season, and I'm sure they're feeling ready to continue on this season and continue to dominate.
Well, we talked about it at the lead of this meet. It was Northern Illinois who won the MAC championships here a season ago. Central Michigan won the regular season a year ago, so we knew this was going to be tight. Still a month and some change before we get back to the MAC championships, so they'll be in Kalamazoo this year. But what a win this is for Northern Illinois.
It's a great win, and I know after coming off of a loss last week, this is really going to boost their confidence, really going to boost their morale as they continue to compete against MAC teams. A conference win is always an amazing feeling, and to know that it's against a really competitive, really powerful, and intense team is a great accomplishment for the day.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Central Michigan falling to 3-3, their first conference loss, now 1-1, and for the Huskies, they pick up their second conference win, now 2-2 on the season and 2-1 in the MAC. But again, this is a performance that Sam Morelli had said, we're waiting for it all to be put together. And sure, you had some slip-ups along the way, but this is a step in the right direction, and what a performance today by his Huskies.
Yep, it was an incredible meet. It really was kind of an edge on the seat type of competition, and I know Sam is probably really happy with that win. And they're going to go back into the gym, they're going to get back to work, and I know that both teams are going to be hungry next weekend for another win.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up our broadcast. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, the final score, Northern Illinois, a 195.075. Central Michigan, the 194.475. Huskies win the meet, their second conference win of the season. For former NIU gymnasts, Emily Graham, Adam Jackson saying good night from NIU. For our entire team, thanks for joining us, and enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday.